All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Well, I guess technically it's still morning. Beautiful Saturday. Just out here in the backyard. Got junk. Of course, I've always got junk. That's what I do. But I'm going to try to get some of this stuff taken apart, put together in bins, and get it situated to go to the scrapyard. I got some aluminum chairs. These things take up a lot of room, especially these ones that don't stack, you know. So I'm going to start with taking these things apart. Start first by putting the gloves on. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this material out of here. Trusty old razor knife. Looks like it's getting due for a new blade. Because believe it or not, the worst part about these chairs is getting this plastic strip that runs in here that holds the material in. That's actually the worst part of dealing with these. I mean, besides that, they come apart pretty easy. My makeshift workbench. Now the first thing I'm going to do is take my magnet and go over these chairs and make sure they're all aluminum. Oh, right there is steel. Crossbar. Because like I've said in the past, some of these chairs are aluminum, but then they have a steel reinforcement inside of them. So you gotta keep your eye out for that. Well, I gotta take the little plastic caps off the bolts. That one's almost out already. All right. And then just start taking the bolts out. Nope, no cap. Of course, they have to use different kinds of bolts. Can't all be the same. disassembled. Actually, hard to tell if that's extruded or if that's sheet metal. Alright, let's finish up here with the bottom. Because you always got to check the feet for plastic caps, which these actually have a screw-in cap, so you can actually adjust the level of the chairs. But you got to make sure you pull everything that isn't aluminum off of it. You know, my scrapyard is very particular when it comes to clean metal. You know, some places are a little more lenient. Oh, that thing is not going to unscrew, is it? Oh, that one's in there. It's starting to come free a little bit. Nope. See, the worst part is when something like this breaks off, then I gotta cut it out. It's nice when they just come out like they're supposed to. Of course, if I had a pair of vice grips and just locked them on there and spun it out, it'd be easier too, but the easy way, that's no fun. Alright, so basically, that's clean. Now I'll probably cut it up to make it a little smaller, easier to fit in the bucket. And this, what's this crossbar here? Is just steel. Usually if I just cut the back side good, it'll snap. Like I say, the straighter the piece is, the easier it comes off. Okay, threw that across the room. All right. Now I need to check these fittings. Yep. See, all these little inserts where the bolts go are steel. So all those have to come out in order to get a clean aluminum price. So let me cut this other side here. Got all the material taken out, but on these rails here where the bolts that were all holding it together, as you see, it's steel, a little insert, so I have to cut that out, which I'm just gonna put a little V-notch here so I can dig it out. Generally works out pretty well. Like I say, generally this works out pretty well. Not always. Probably could have cut that one a little deeper. Let's make another cut, make it a little bit deeper. Aluminum out of the way. And of course, you know, there's always one that's going to give you a whole lot of trouble. Come on, you're coming out of there. So now, clean. All right, let me get the rest of these done. All right. So basically I'm left with the bottom of the chair. Now, gone over the chair. We did that in the beginning to make sure there was no metal in it. This doesn't have any little metal tabs or anything that have to be cut out. But if the camera can pick this up, the very bottoms where we pulled the little bolts out, the adjusters, this is actually cast aluminum. Okay, and also part of this arm is cast aluminum. Now, I don't want to get a cast aluminum price for my extrusion, because extrusion goes to 70 cents a pound. Cast aluminum, I believe, is still at 40 cents a pound. So I want the 70 cents a pound. So I'm going to take these little cast nubs and I'm going to cut them off. Okay, and then I'll probably cut this portion of the chair here off, because the rest of this, minus these two little poles, cross poles, which will go as sheet aluminum, the rest of it though is extruded aluminum, 70 cents a pound, and that's basically what we want. So you can see that little cast insert in there, but like I say, I don't want to lose that extruded price over that little bit of cast. Oh, now you just fall off of there. All right, let me go ahead and cut this in half. Yeah, when you're using your grinder, make sure you hang on to it. Because as you see, I had to zip tie my cord, having problems with it. That's because it'll catch and will try to rip right out of your hand. So make sure you hang on to it. Now these cable cutters make really short work when it comes to sheet metal. If I can get in there. Or simple aluminum tubing. Oh, that will go a sheet, and then this, just break it apart. Because I mean it is aluminum, so it will come apart. that's good. And then I'm left with this piece. Oh. That. That. And as you see here, hopefully you guys can see this. You see that big nub there? That's cast aluminum. And that's what I don't want them to give me a cheaper price on the rest of it. So I will cut the rest of this off. I'm just not sure how deep that goes down in there. Let's find out. Alright, so now extrusion, and that will go as cast. And we'll do this one. A little crooked cutting there, but we'll get the job done. All right, and that's that. All right, and I got these other chairs I need to cut up, but actually I wanted to show you folks something I don't think I've ever really shown you. Well, let's see how well one of these are going to cooperate. You know, this is something I find a lot of. Faucets, usually still attached to the sink. Basically, these handles are held on with a screw or a bolt. It's just a matter of finding, either they'll have a cap back here that you got to take off. This one looks like it's just the whole top portion. It's plastic. And then usually these things are always held together with an Allen key. So do I have the right one? Oh, too big. All right. Yep, usually with just an Allen key. Well, I still ain't got the right one. Everything stripped out. A little bigger. There we go. Take this handle off. The only reason I keep these is because I have the little bitty one still on there. Now, usually this handle is pot metal, zinc. You know, it's non-magnetic, but you got to be sure. Take your grinder, hit it. You know, if it shoots sparks, it could be stainless steel. 9 times out of 10, they're just zinc or pot metal. You can tell that it's not aluminum because of the weight. And, you know, if you collect pot metal or die cast, you just throw that in your bucket with that. Unscrew the top of this. So that one's just plastic. Now the faucet itself, a lot of times they would just slide off. This one's old. Get all this stuff out of the way. Oh, yep. Phillips screw. Take this handle out of the way. Maybe. Oh, not going to cooperate. Come on, my pliers will cooperate. Snap that off, which that's probably just pot metal. Because I want these plastic nuts out of the way. You know, it's funny, some of these things cooperate and just come right apart. Then again, some of them don't. Alright, now that should pull off of there. Yep. Now this piece, I need to check, because most of the time, these are brass. You guys and gals, but if you can see that yellow color, yeah, that's a piece of brass. So just got to make sure it's all cleaned up. Pull the tip out. Little plastic filter, rubber washer. A lot of times that little piece there is brass. Like I say, if you have any doubt, you just a grinder or a metal file works too. I just usually have the grinder handy when I'm doing this. You just want to hit it and see if you got that nice brassy color. Now I got to take these bushings out of here because I want a good clean brass piece. And like I say, some of these things come apart really easy with very little hassle. And some of them don't. It depends on how old it is. Yes, I know that's not a hammer. Come on. There we go. That punched out. So that's clean brass. That'll go into a clean brass bucket. Yeah, bucket. Excuse me. And then we're left with this. Let's take this plastic bushing off. Unscrew this hose. Believe it or not, a lot of these are brass. You know, they're silver colored because they're zinc colored, you know, they're zinc coated to help prevent corrosion. You know, you see brass, it'll turn that green, you know, from the corrosion. So they zinc coat stuff so it won't corrode. Get all these little rubber gaskets off. Alright, come off of there. Now that should just be a piece of steel. Oh, nope, nope. No sticky with the magnet. Yep, look at that brass. See that color? So that's brass too. You always got to check. Alright, now I'm left with this. What a mess, huh? Now there's generally a little clip here. You guys can see. Pull out. And generally that little clip, yeah, it's usually copper or brass. I'm not speaking very well today. And theoretically, once you pull that clip out, this thing should pull right out. Now, you know, when it was brand new, maybe. Oh, look at that. It might actually come out of there. Well, I said might. Like I say, this is where the vise would really be nice. Alright, got that insert out. Now all I got to do is take these rubber washers off, the O-rings, and all I do is take my old side cutters, clip there, which all I'm doing actually is just crimping the pipe off. So I can break it off real easy. Alright, so there we have it. That's clean brass, a little bit of copper, a couple little brass fittings. That was actually brass, and the spout's brass. So, not bad. This little fitting here, if you want to take the time to cut it apart, the shaft in it is actually brass. Excuse me. I generally don't. I'm done with it right there. And like I say, the handle, you know, if you get a scrapyard that pays a decent price for die cast, zinc, pot metal, what have you, then it's worth saving. My scrapyard pays 10 cents a pound. I'll throw it off to the side. Don't forget that little clip there. Well, the winds are picking up. Starting to get gray out. But let me show you this real quick. This is the fitting, the hose that was on the end of that faucet. Now, like I said, it's shiny, chrome colored, but I'm going to take this die grinder and I'm going to cut this thing open here. All I did was cut it right down the center. Let me hit the side of it. As you see, it's got a nice yellow goldish color. That's brass. The little metal tie down here is not. A lot of times they will be, though, believe it or not. It's just that they're zinc colored. You know, they're zinc coated to help prevent corrosion. Push that spout out, because this one is actually plastic. A lot of times that nipple there will be brass, but another little brass fitting. So don't be afraid to check them. It don't take much to hit it with a grinder or a metal file and check to see what you're working with, you know. I enjoy taking things like this apart personally. You know, the washing machines and stuff like that I don't do for the electric motors, but odds and ends like this, I'll throw these faucets off, get a bunch of them together, and I'll just sit down with the grinder and my little tools, and I'll just go through and start picking them apart and get me a bucket of brass together. The same thing with the chairs. You know, normally I wait until I got a stack of these chairs before I cut them all up. You know, I don't do them one at a time. I should, but I don't. Actually, I think before it rains, I'm going to get this air conditioner, the one that I picked up last week, and the stand-up unit in the back of the truck, because I got to pull the casing off of this, and I'm going to take them down to get the Freon sucked out, because they are closed tomorrow. Alright, well, that's going to do it. So that's it for me. So until next time.